many ballot styles. It's very confusing for election officers to give voters their correct ballot. Our folks are really great at the high school, and they know to look for the code of town and the correct ballot on the town years and so forth. You know, everything is uncertain with the laws, but we do know we can request a waiver this year. We don't know about next year, but we were told probably not, that they want all of these splits healed or fixed before or during the redistricting process.
Will you be able to do that at the high school in another area, or you have to have a totally different location actually in the town?
Good question.
We thought of that.
Of course, it's up to the supervisors where we have our voting precincts,
Right.
but my thought would be to see if we could use 2 rooms in the same building at the high school.
Right.
That way, if a voter came, you could just say go across the hall. You wouldn't have to say go across town.
And it keeps all y'all's process in one building.
Yes, and all at the schools, they just dealing with one facility. So that would be, you know, we haven't talked to anyone else other than you folks. For me, that would be nice to do it that way.
Could it be like the new gym and the old part of the high school?
Yeah.
We're thinking cafeteria and new gym.
Right, cafeteria, new
Physically
gym.
separated,
Right.
walking distance though, yeah.
You know, sometimes in these very small primaries, we've used the lobby of the new gym.
Right.
And you can see outside.
Yeah.
And the poll workers love that if it's a small turnout and
Right.
you can manage it. We've used the main lobby at the front door. Just because of COVID when we couldn't go into
Right.
the cafeteria because of food.
Yeah, last year. Okay.
And I will tell you, I did talk to Kayla about this to alert her, and she's alerted the council and everything too, because it'd be nice to get some of their input next year when we're looking at locations for them to vote.
Does it appear that they're granting waivers?
The state, yes, we will get this waiver if there is a resolution from the board. So this time, you know, we do have town on the ballot. We have 2 council seats and mayor. And I asked the question if this code change would apply to every election, and they said yes, because any year you could have a special town election pop up, and just because of voter confusion, you don't want to change someone's polling place every 2 years. So, so this would be, you know, a permanent change going forward. So,
So if given we don't know what's going to happen with the census and the potential of a special election sometime after January 1,
yes,
this is going to be on top of it, could be on top of us right away.
yes, I
This
feel like it
waiver
will
would
be.
be for November, then come that January, you got to have the split.
Right.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, I feel like it will, and I did look up, you know, with everything that comes at a cost with a new precinct, and just to throw this out there, I looked up the cost for an additional tabulator, and this could change a little, but it's around $6,400.
Okay.
And a touch writer, which is the ballot marking device for vision impaired voters, is $5,300. I do think I have a spare. I have 2 spare of handicap ADA machines. I'm looking at numbers. There's a formula you have to use on your spare. I think we might be okay on the touch writer, but it might be the tabulator we would need, $6,400. Of course, then you have a whole set of election officers. I'd say you need 5 at a minimum.
Yeah.
Just man now the ballot drop boxes that have to be outside. There'll be 2 separate drop boxes. You know, it'll just be a whole other precinct.
Yeah.
That would be small. I kind of think it would be nice if they waived towns with a population
Under
size.
1,000.
Under 3,500, like you do everything else. You
Right.
said.
Yeah, so that might be something that the state pursues.
Yeah.
We talked to our representatives in the state about is
Yes.
getting some relief on the,
Yeah, with the
If they-
session.
And no, I mean, I understand the potential problems,
Mhm.
but the courthouse district's the last one that needs two. So
Right.
there are other districts
Right.
that need two voting sites outside of the courthouse district.
That's what I was gonna ask, because one of the things that has informally been talked about in the past was having some precincts, additional precincts in areas that, like Route 8 toward Montgomery County is a prime example where
Yes,
no one drives, normally
No
they
one
drive
goes
to
into
the valley.
Right.
And
yes.
so every year, it seems like the voting numbers in Indian Valley are lower than any other precinct. And I think largely because people aren't gonna drive
Redistricting.
20 or 30 minutes to go vote.
We have
They're coming
Yeah,
to
they're
our,
coming to you.
Depends on the population.
I know.
But, you know, some of us have talked about in the past that maybe there'd be an
Yellow there.
opportunity to have a
Not with me.
precinct that would serve several,
So,
You're getting,
Oh,
you're
districts.
getting a lot, man.
oh, I see
in
what
that
you're, like
area.
a
You'd
vote,
have,
like a vote center.
The whole center, we have a section for each precinct.
but that would be hard to do with this
Yeah.
new rule, I guess. Like if you had a building out close to the little river, you could, there'd be a section of the courthouse district that
Yes.
could vote there, a section in the valley that could vote. People that would normally drive down Route 8 to work.
Similar to what we do at the office, we vote, let every district vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but that would probably be hard to do with, not being able to split precincts.
Office budgeted, I guess we could do it.
There you go.
I don't know, I
Um,
think it's just always a positive thing if we find ways to make
Yeah.
voting
Get
easier.
easier for
It-
make it
people.
easier for the public to get to the polls and vote.
You know, Floyd County votes, I'm very proud of Floyd.
Yes.
We have one of the highest percentages,
Yep.
83%. You know, of our fabulous.
I mean, not everybody's registered to vote that's a citizen of the county,
Correct.
but
We're really,
All those registered, we always have very high
Right,
percentage.
very high.
Yeah.
you
I'm
know,
very
we have
proud of our
over
citizens.
11,000 registered voters.
Right.
16,000 population, and that's children and everything,
Yep.
so we're,
Not many people are.
not many.
we're pretty good, yeah. A little, you know, one other law I'll bring to your attention is some of the COVID laws have reverted back. For example, curbside is now going to be available for voters 65 and older or disabled. And, you know, the curbside really saved me with space-wise because of COVID. Like 3,000 some people voted outside in the parking lot. And so the space
But they
issue
can't
may,
do
you
that.
know, will make you think about how we're gonna set that up this fall. Cause I expect a pretty good turnout this fall. Mm-hmm.
But that's only for 65 years or older
Or disabled.
or
Or disabled.
disabled.
Yeah.
For
That's how the
curbside.
law, you know.
Law,
You're talking about early voting.
You're talking, anybody can do it.
Anybody can early vote and would have.
Anybody can come
Curbside.
upstairs.
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
wondering
She
if we
said
can
curbside.
manage the crowd upstairs
Mhm.
Yeah,
and
that's
let it
what,
out.
yeah, that's gonna be an issue because
Cause the
Yeah.
tent
some
saved
of
us.
the folks that I'm talking about that have a hard time driving to precincts, you know, I
Yes.
mean, just looking at the map over there, you know, you've got Tuttle's Gap, for example, I have to drive to Willis to vote.
I know, yes.
Or Reiner has to drive to Indian Valley.
Mhm.
And then, you know, there's some in my area too, anyway, you can go down to the list, but, you know, I've wondered about trying to strategically put some places, but what they're gonna do is early vote, which then is going to put some pressure on your office because you're in a cramped area all the way to the
The
top.
more I'm gonna have to walk in, it's a real problem.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
gonna be a
We can be
whole lot.
lenient, my advice
Yeah.
is lenient on the people, who somebody had a bad back, or somebody has this problem or that problem.
Yeah, we don't have to.
We don't know, if people wanna come in and vote, as long as they're not a long line and they, you know,
Um,
they wanna vote, we'll let them.
So, it's just something to think about. So maybe when the census numbers come in, if you guys wanna have a talk session, work session, and we could just look at different things, we could,
That'd be great.
would be, yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be good.
I think the best thing we can do is make it as convenient for people as
That's
possible,
right.
because in the long run, you know, the people that vote in Floyd, the more people that vote in Floyd, the more weight that carries in our small say in the state. So, you know, if we vote 80% in the governor's race, then we carry more weight than if we vote
Right.
60%. So I would think you'd want more people to vote.
Absolutely, yeah. So,
This resolution, Marty, name,
So this would give me permission to seek the state to grant a waiver for this November to run the town and courthouse in the same precinct as usual.
If you're ready, I'll make that motion and authorize appropriate signature.
I'll second.
Motion second. Okay.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Sorry, I asked for Mr. Booth, and he said yes. Ms. Kuckenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Yoder?
Yes.
Mr. Thurman?
Yes.
And Mr. Coleman is absent. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank y'all for what y'all do too.
Thank you all.
I know you, I know you do too in the electoral board, but you really put a lot of time in.
Yeah.
It's appreciated.
I appreciate
I just
that.
want to tell you congratulations on the raise that you got from the state of Virginia too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You got the certification too.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're earning a raise. I just put it that way. 12 online classes in a short amount of time.
very good.
Yeah, so lots of changes, and if you're interested, I can send you like the summary of all the law changes.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
Important.
Mhm. And the state sent us a handout. So,
You know, sorry, a little off subject, well, I guess it's still subject, but, as far as the census and everything, do you know what the timeline is on when we need to do redistricting for our
We're looking at numbers coming out by September,
September?
and I don't know when it's going to be due, but they're going to be pushing us
So
to
this
get
fall,
it
we're gonna have to
done.
really get after it to get ours done.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm having a couple of meetings coming up with
Okay.
regional meetings, and I think they're talking about that, so I'll share any dates they send
I'm
out.
hoping they'll still, just for this election, leave it like it is, let everything take effect afterwards, but I don't think
You mean for November?
Yeah.
They will leave it like it is.
they are gonna leave it
Yes.
for that, okay.
Yes, because there's set deadlines that you have to notify voters of
Right.
changes and stuff. So for this fall, we'll go current, but expect to see some specials next year.
Yeah.
Probably like statewide,
House
maybe.
delegates.
Well, it could be local too.
It could be.
Depending on how the lines change.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Mhm.
Statewide.
If you end up with two supervisors in the same district, then boom.
Well, that's us, but we're talking about jury members.
Fortunately, I don't think we have
Well,
to change that.
statewide, same thing on
No.
representative.
But I think from population shifts in the state, is what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's gonna
There's
be-
gonna be
that's the
some real
state.
changes in the
I
House of
think so.
Delegates especially.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Southwest Virginia's gonna lose the House seat,
At least
at
one.
least one,
At
maybe
least
two,
one.
so I mean, there's gonna be some delegates thrown together.
And
Yeah.
I did just read an article that Southwest Virginia had one citizen member on the redistricting commission
Right.
that just resigned, and I'm not sure why.
Wow.
But now they're seeking to fill that seat again, so that kind of set them back. And I wish Southwest had more than just one of
Yeah,
the
right.
seats, but so I'll try to share that article that
Yeah,
I
please.
saw. Yeah, I was
I'd
just,
like to know why they resigned.
I don't know if it was
That
like health
concern.
Could be health.
or it's gonna be a big job to be on a commission.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Well,
Thank
keep
you.
everybody in touch. I appreciate it.
Alrighty, that's closed session.
Mr. Chair, I think you've reached the point in your agenda to look at closed session, and as you recall, we were looking at under two different things. One, we had originally advertised, and let me pull up, under 2.2-3711A5 was our original. And then, excuse me, let me close this. And that's discussion concerning a prospective business or industry or the expansion of an existing business or industry where no previous announcement has been made of the business or industry's interest in locating or expanding its facilities in the community. And then also closed session A8, consultation with legal counsel employed or retained by a public body regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel. Nothing in this subdivision shall be construed to permit the closure of meeting merely because an attorney representing the public body is in attendance or is consulted on a matter.
So if I could add a little bit to the A8, we do have to provide, when possible, some specific reference, and the A8 reference would be specific advice regarding specified VHDA programs. And I would ask the board to consider a closed session as well under 2.23711A7, and that's consultation with legal counsel regarding actual or probable litigation. And the litigation would be a briefing for the board on the status of the Purdue Pharma bankruptcy.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion second. Call roll.
Okay, Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Ms. Kickabook?
Yes.
Mr. Yoder?
Yes.